So we're going to be looking at the case of credible commitment in sequential games, and we're going to be using an example from a game of entry. This is from my microeconomics textbook, and I'm Rickard Friberg. Okay, so we're looking at a case where there's a firm in a market. We call that firm the incumbent. So think of that as a monopoly. It's having a nice and comfy position in the market. Okay, so let's do that in blue. And we're thinking of a sequential game here. So there's an incumbent. There's a potential entrant. We say there's a game of entry. So there's someone who's pondering entering this market. There's entrant. So we could think of more stages, but here there is an incumbent, there's an entrant that's thinking of entering the market. So if it enters, first stage, entrant enters, the incumbent then can make a decision. What are the decisions that the incumbent can make? Well, it's to compete softly, so this new firm is coming, this entrant is coming into the market. Your incumbent setting prices, quantities, advertising, what have you. It's competing, but not particularly harshly. Or it can compete fiercely, trigger a price war, be super aggressive on the market, very aggressive advertising, etc., etc. So these are strategies, or it's a game. There are players. There's entrant and incumbent. They have strategies. So the entrant can either enter. That's what entrants do, I guess, or it can stay out. So here's also the case of showing that there's asymmetry in the sense that only if the entrant enters does the choice of incumbent matter here. If it stays out, then there's sort of no game for the incumbent to play. It's just making a decision. Okay, so we want to look at the payoffs as well. So as before, we said that we typically write the payoffs of the player last, and payoffs of the players before that. So, payoff of the entrant. Write that here. So assume that the payoffs are 5 in the case that if the entrant enters and the incumbent competes softly, whereas they're -5 if the entrant enters and the incumbent starts a price war, is really being aggressive. Or if the incumbent is soft, the profits for the incumbent, we're assuming that those are 15 and 10 here. Okay, and in the case where the entrant stays out, assume that the profits of the incumbent are 30, is 30, and of the incumbent, we normalize that to 0. Okay. So clearly for the incumbent, it's more profitable to be a monopolist than to be a duopoly. Okay, if it's duopoly, it's competing softly, it's making more money than if it's competing fiercely and acting as in a price war, but that's also affecting the payoffs for the entrant. Okay. So clearly, then the incumbent would have an interest in saying, if you come into my market, I will be a fierce competitor. I will haunt you. I will do whatever I can to drive you out of the market. Okay, but we could say, is that credible? Loud's action speaks louder than words. So you might say that, but once the entrant has entered, the incumbent is faced with a fait accompli, as you would say in French. The choice is not, the posturing has no role anymore. The choice for the incumbent, if the entrant has entered, is only between competing softly or fiercely, which then would amount to the choice of should the incumbent choose a payoff of 15 or a payoff of 10, okay? So 15 being higher than 10, implying that if the entrant enters, it would expect the incumbent to play soft, meaning that the entrant would expect to make a profit, looking ahead and racing back, of 5 rather than 0, and we would expect in this game the entrant to enter and this to be the subgame perfect equilibrium. Okay, so we're now thinking as an incumbent, is there some way through which you can tie your hands in the sense of, is there some way through which you can make it credible that you will choose to compete fiercely in the second stage? Okay. We could think of various ways of doing that. Loose there. But think of something here in this case where the incumbent adjusts the cost structure. So we know that costs are dependent, there's fixed cost and there's variable cost. So if you can have a production process where you trade off the two, you might have a larger fixed cost to get a lower variable cost. So you invest in new fancy machine that has very low marginal cost, but it costs more to purchase. So that would, such a cost structure would affect profits in the different cases. So just to take an example where the numbers are pulled out of a hat, but their sort of ordering is not. So assume that if you change this cost structure, you have profit of 15 minus 6 in the case that you compete softly and you're actually faced with competition. 15 plus 2, 10 plus 2 equals to 12 in the case where it's fierce. So think of a very low marginal cost. You're able to be more aggressive in that case, producing greater quantities, so benefiting more from lower marginal cost. Or when you're producing little, you have an effect of minus 10 here. So you're doing something. What you're doing is affecting the outcomes. Okay, so look at the game now and see what is the predicted equilibrium. So if the entrant enters, the incumbent then has a choice between the payoff of 9 and the payoff of 12 now. So 12 is greater than 9. So in this case, the incumbent has incentives to compete fiercely. Okay, that's a credible commitment by adjusting the cost structure in this case, making it visible to the entrant. That's necessary and irreversible. Okay, has made it credible that the incumbent will be competing fiercely if the entrant comes in. Okay, so the entrant, look ahead, reason back, the entrant would then be comparing the payoff of minus 5 to 0. Okay, minus 5 is worse than 0, so it will stay out. Okay, so the predicted subgame perfect equilibrium would be this, that the entrant stays out and the incumbent earns a profit of 20. Okay, so here you could say, well, in some sense, it looks like the incumbent is not maximizing, not optimizing. Okay, it could be doing better in terms of getting 30 rather than just 20. But what we note is that the kind of commitment that is made motivates taking this this step. So it's tying its hands. It's tying its hands, lowering its profits in some sense, lowering its payoff, but that tying of the hands is giving a strategic advantage, which affects the play that the other agent will do. Okay, so that's an example of strategic commitment or credible commitment.